I'm Catherine McLean, founder and CEO of Dylan Green, and today I have with me Dawn James. Dawn is based out of Houston, Texas, and she's the Director of Global Industry Strategy at Microsoft. Welcome, Dawn.
Thank you. Great to be here.
I'm really excited to have you join us today. We met in New York at a SIA event a few months ago, and you said that you'd be open to doing this as your schedule got a little clearer. And so I've stayed on you and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, excited to be here.
So thank you. Again, congrats as well on recently being recognized by Duke Energy for your outstanding contributions in sustainability, innovation, and solutions, as well as being named a 2022 Women in Smart Energy Award winner. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your current role.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you mentioned, I'm Director for Industry Strategy. I focus on energy and sustainability, which is in line with my background. In the role, I focus on aligning business and industry challenges to solutions. And these solutions span the entire Microsoft portfolio. I focus on customer innovation in the energy space, so I do a lot of work in energy transition. And then I also focus on sustainability. And as you know, sustainability is just a really broad topic. So I focus, I look at challenges around ESG, sustainability, and then, different caveats from there. Like I mentioned, I focus on energy, but I also, in some of my previous roles, looked across all of our prioritized sectors and was, doing a lot of customer work with sustainability within manufacturing, healthcare. So I've been able to kind of expand myself, since I've been here at Microsoft, and learn a lot, and then also really see how sustainability is applied across the board, across different sectors, across a lot of different business challenges. I work across Microsoft. We have kind of a one Microsoft mission. So I work with our enterprise commercial industry team for energy. I partner with a lot of our key stakeholders. I work with our engineering and our business groups there, as well as our global partner solution group. And I help to scale motions and plays across our portfolio, like I mentioned, and be able to serve our customers around digital maturity, looking at their sustainability roadmap and how do we digitally enable that. And also one of the things I really love doing is the work around innovation in this space. So we know, we've been in this space for a long time. Sustainability isn't new to the business sector, to the commercial side. However, what we're doing now in this, in 2022, it feels new, it is new. So there's so much going on, so much energy in the innovation and the startup side of things, and then also the reinvigoration around some of the renewables, which is why we met at SIA. And so I love really looking at this new space that's kind of emerging around the business of sustainability.
Yeah, no, it definitely feels like there's a nice, fresh air. That's super exciting.
It is.
So we're going to try and make the air fresher, hopefully.
That's the idea.
That's the idea. So I know you studied geology in college and previously worked in water resource management. Did you always plan to work in tech and sustainability? How did you make your way into your current role?
No, it definitely wasn't the plan when I went to college, or right after I left. I wasn't really thinking about it in those terms. I've always had a relationship with tech, for sure. I've always been good at picking up applications, and I did numerical modeling. I was always very strong in the sciences and in math. And so when I worked, you mentioned water resources, when I worked for the USGS in water resources management, I did a lot of water, subsurface water modeling, numerical modeling, and how it tied to different environmental challenges. Now, on that side of things, it was more from a knowledge base and more of a scientific type of study that we did. A number of studies that in published works that I've done with the USGS. However, when I moved into the energy sector, then one of the things that I was really looking at was how to transfer some of those skill sets from the numerical modeling time to how do we model reservoir systems. And it was interesting, when I first started working in energy, that was the thing that one VP at an E&P company, he pulled that out of my resume. I didn't have energy experience, but he said, "Oh, you've been doing all this subsurface modeling for water. This is just a different type of fluid. It's the same, similar physics."
Right.
And it turned out that the work that I've been doing in numerical modeling was really the back end of, I worked just with, running algorithms through a compiler, doing the pre and post processing by hand using Excel and Surfer 8, for those of you guys remember.
Yeah.
Surfer. But, we did all of our pre and post processing ourselves. But when I came into the energy sector, there were applications that performed all of those type of running of algorithms where you didn't have to actually do it by hand. And so I actually knew a lot more about being able to run those applications than I thought I did. And so being able to do geologic modeling for the oil and gas energy industry was actually, it came second nature to me. I learned it really, really quickly. And that VP was right. He brought me into the company and I picked it up, because obviously I have a very strong geoscience background and I knew modeling. And it was just looking at different fluids, similar physics.
But how great is that though, that like you didn't have to be the one doing the convincing, like I can do this. Like he was like, I see this in you, you can do this, like, let's go. Like, that's awesome.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the things about my career, in some instances, it's me pushing and saying that I can do this and I want to do it and I will do it. And then it's other times where someone has said, I see something in you and, let's give that a shot.
Like a mix.
Yeah.
So Microsoft has so much going on when it comes to sustainability. Most recently with its launch of the Microsoft Sustainability Cloud, as well as Carbon Call, a new initiative Microsoft announced with ClimateWorks Foundation and over 20 other organizations. What sustainability work are you most excited about to work on at Microsoft and why?
Well, it's hard to whittle it down because, and like I mentioned, I love being in this kind of innovative space. Sometimes I say it feels like being in the wild, wild west, a little bit of, things just kind of, happening organically, doing things for the very first time, and then trying to solve very difficult challenges. I think that I enjoy, one of the things I enjoy about working with Microsoft is that we have a very clear core mission around sustainability. It gives us a clear direction from the top down, and everyone can talk to our mission no matter what role you have. Sustainability is everybody's job. That's one thing that I love. It doesn't matter if you have sustainability in your title or not. There's something that you can contribute tangibly to, helping Microsoft forward its mission, which at the core is around, for Microsoft to do better, the planet has to do better. So there's a real passion around purpose, aligned values, and tangible impact. So at the core, and I know that when I speak about it, I can get passionate about it because it aligns with my values, right? So, and it's something that I really care about. And so, and part of the core mission is around inclusivity, having holistic, ecosystem type solutions that is including the entire sphere of influence that Microsoft wields, which empowers us, right, as employees. And then it also helps us to really go down this journey with our customers, with our partners, to reimagine the world in a more inclusive and sustainable way. So that's like the main thing that I'm very excited about. And I think the things that I tend to spend a lot of time on are really these tech-based solutions around decarbonization. So that's
Mhm.
right. I think if you ask me next week, it'll probably be something else because I'm
Mhm.
always doing something new, which is one of the reasons why I love my job. I get to do
Yeah.
something all the time. But that's what I'm really been what I've really been talking with a lot of our customers about, and really having, like I said, these you know beautiful ideas,
Yeah.
holistic, inclusive, equitable, but then also the engineering, the science, the innovation around some of these technology-based solutions. I mean, I'm a true believer that it's going to take all the solutions, it's all
Yeah.
hands on deck today. But it's very enlightening to see so many organizations, especially in the
Mhm.
energy sector, and I'm including utilities, power
Yeah.
and utilities, oil and gas, mining, that are all in around
Yeah.
decarbonization, looking at what are the core business challenges, looking at what are the existing infrastructure core solutions and organizational type of operations. How can we apply innovation to those areas? How can we start applying decarbonization efforts to products and solutions? How can we reimagine revenue streams, business models, right? So, and when I work with energy companies, there's a lot of talk around direct air capture, CCUS, carbon management systems, battery storage, hydrogen, and there's just an incredible. I sit on the board of Greentown Labs as well,
Mhm.
the largest green tech incubator in the United States, and there is just incredible innovation in the startup
Yeah.
space, and being able to talk to entrepreneurs, graduates of the corporate world, and just the ideas that people are coming up with, and then being able to have a juggernaut like Microsoft to be able to reach out across their sphere of influence to be able to enable these type of solutions.
Yeah.
It's incredibly exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it really is. I think that is one of the things that's most exciting about what's happening now is that it involves all of us.
Yes.
There isn't one answer. It's not like, okay, everybody let's do solar, everybody let's do wind. Like that's
Right.
what's so exciting. It's that all of us play a part in it, like all the technologies. So like we all can get involved and have a full dance card.
Right.
Um, so I want to talk a bit about environmental justice,
Mm-hmm.
which is something I know that you're very passionate about. Do you have some specific examples in ways that Microsoft is making like serious and real commitments in terms of racial equality as they fulfill their environmental pledges?
Yeah. So I mentioned some of our core mission, and a part of Microsoft's core mission is around environmental justice and equity. And we are committed to addressing racial injustice and inequity within the United States, specifically targeting Black and African Americans, targeting underserved communities, LGBTQ, women. So we've been really focused on how to improve the lived experiences, and I think that's really important. It's not
Yeah.
just how do we have something to announce right here and there, but it's projects that have true impact to communities and the communities that employees come from, right? So I mentioned that every person within Microsoft, whether or not you have sustainability in your
Yeah.
job, if you have a passion about it, there is a space for you to work in. Same thing around environmental justice and equality, and equity, racial equity. There's a number of initiatives that focuses on multi-year pillars and being able to kind of push tangible action and progress, right? And then we have milestones and dates that. So an example is Microsoft worked with Volt Energy, which is a Black-owned solar
Yeah.
company.
Gilbert.
Yeah.
It's a friend of mine. Awesome. He just had a little baby.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome. Congratulations, Gilbert. So that's his company, Volt Energy. So that we we were able to purchase, we entered a PPA with Volt Energy, and this is just really around, we have a commitment to be using 100% renewable energy by 2025. And it's not just Microsoft, other organizations as well, right, have these type of commitments around renewable energy as part of their, net zero carbon goals. But being able to infuse, equity and environmental justice in that. So making sure that we're, purchasing, putting out some of these engaging in these PPAs with Black-owned, underserved communities and organizations that actually serve the communities, that are part of the communities. And this is really showing, how we infuse this kind of twin mission between ESG and environmental justice, racial justice, and being connected. And this is one of the things too that I mentioned, that when we're looking at how corporations now are entering this kind of new age around sustainability, because it's in all of our faces. I don't think there's any person on the planet that is not being affected in one way or another. As we move forward, it's not just about, okay, all hands on deck, but it's also about transparency and making sure that we make these changes moving forward in an equitable way. And this is just one of the tangible solutions where Microsoft purchased 250 megawatts of solar power from Volt Energy to power one of our data centers to help, reach our pledge. And then we're continuing on with that. And continuing, we have certain goals within our vendor code of business conduct, and how we make sure that we are diverse across which vendors we choose and how we choose them. And there's several initiatives that go into that. Same with our partner network, where we have a certain outreach programs, not just for who's supplying Microsoft, but then also the impact that they provide to the communities. We have a philanthropies department as well. And I personally have done quite a bit of work with them, where we kind of bridge this gap between the commercial side of the business and also how we sponsor and support minority-owned businesses.
Yeah, that's just really great, Dawn. I mean, it's so exciting that, and the two really just lend themselves so nicely to each other. The environment and social justice. I want to talk about DICE next, which again is in that diversity and clean energy. I know that you're a member of the DICE advisory board. Can you talk about the impact DICE is having and the organizations involved with this initiative?
Sure. Yeah. So we're getting off the ground. We've been together for, I would say, about a year. And I think that DICE is an example of just an amazing effort that starts from an idea,
Right.
And Amy Bond came up with the idea from T-Mobile and worked with Cheryl Comer from Duke Energy, formerly of Duke Energy, and really we saw a problem, and it's something that we hear this question sometimes, or the statement made by organizations, well, we would love to hire more minority-owned, diverse.
I hear it often.
More women-owned, but we don't know where to find them.
Right.
So, I think that those of us that sit in these groups, we're waving our hands and we're like, we're here.
Right.
But, DICE, I think, is a concrete way that really, I won't say eliminates the need for that question, but it makes it harder for that question to keep being asked. Right. So it's really just driving towards a more diverse, inclusive, equitable practice around sourcing, supply chain, and supplier selection. So just like I mentioned, Microsoft, we have a mission around being more diverse, especially around our supply chain and across our clean energy value chain. to meet some of our goals.
Mhm.
And we have equity built into that. We have used Volt Energy as part of Dice Energy and Dice's coalition. And Microsoft is also funding through our Tech for Societal Impact. We're funding the database that's being built out to house, the diverse suppliers within the DICE coalition. And then we are looking to create visibility for these diverse owned businesses through changing that status quo and streamlining the process for being able to be included in corporate initiatives. So
Yeah.
this is a place where corporations can come be members, and also diverse owned businesses can come and be part of the database. And within Microsoft, it's gotten a lot of support. So we have some senior level support in our executive suite, which is wonderful. It's great
Right.
for me. It's one thing for me to be really passionate and say, yeah, that's good. And it's another thing, when you see senior executives get on board and really support and help out. So it's been a beautiful journey. It's continuing. And, I love that it is action-based. It's an action-based coalition. We're moving forward. We're, like I mentioned, we're working Microsoft along with Duke Energy, Kroger, T-Mobile, GE. And we're really looking to kind of bring together a unique set of perspectives between utilities and corporations to, give visibility to diverse owned businesses within the clean energy sector.
That's wonderful. So what advice do you have for others looking to follow in your footsteps? What advice would you give to those looking for like impactful mentors, like women-focused sustainability networking groups, or anything else that like helped you enter and succeed in the world of sustainability?
Yeah, I think that one of the things that I think about that has been pivotal for me is leaning into what makes you unique.
Right.
I think that when you really understand your skill sets and what you love to do, right, and you bring those things together, and then you embrace that within your personal story, it makes you uniquely qualified to do whatever it is that you've focused your mind on.
Right.
And leaning in to that uniqueness sets you apart from other people. I think that that's been something that's been very enabling for me once I was able to really kind of find myself in a way,
Yeah.
and then being able to look at my skill set, because that's one of the things that it wasn't easy, right? Like, we kind of talked about a little bit before that sometimes, people find me, sometimes it's me, rolling that boulder up the hill. And I would say, 95% of the time it's me rolling the boulder up the hill.
Yeah.
And, banging on a lot of doors and, waving my hands and saying, I'm unique, I'm special, and, I can do it, just give me a chance. And it's not always up to other people to recognize your potential. Sometimes you have to absolutely toot your own horn and find a way to brand yourself. And it's not that kind of, it's a different kind of branding. The way I see it is just leaning into your authentic self and just being intentional about your path. And then, learning what makes you unique and then leaning into that. Other advice I would say is it's important to find your professional family, or your work family, finding people with that shared interest, that shared passion, the communities, the forums, the different organizations and groups. And I have, a little methodology for that, as far as, finding people that you resonate with and people that you can laugh with. And then, that are in your professional circle and growing that. I would say also that it's real important to watch what people do, not so much what they say, and
Mhm.
align yourself. Align
Isn't
your
that the truth?
right.
I trust all people that are at the buffet bar.
All right.
Right? Like when we were in New York, like I was like, I like Tom because she likes the cocktail and she likes food. And those are two very important things to me and a friend.
Right. We could eat and
So she likes to eat and drink.
well, you know me, I like my happy hour. So
Right.
a nice buffet and a happy hour is good.
That was nice. We'll give a shout out to EDPR New York
right. Oh yeah, that was fun.
office opening, Tom Werich, and that was a good buffet bar.
Oh yeah, that was delicious. Yeah, we had a good time. Yeah, so yeah, that piece of it, and then I think one of the things in this stage of my career is taking care of your mental health. Taking care of your physical health. I think that if I were to really look back on times when I wasn't as engaged in my career or engaged into I was just tired.
Yeah.
Like that was the
well, you're a mom too. I mean, so there's that.
I'm a single mom. Yeah. But yeah, that's a big part of it is that, sometimes it's hard to show up, when you're tired. It's hard to show up when, other parts of your life are not aligned, so you have to take care of yourself. You have to take your time off, take your vacations, go to the doctor, right? And then do the things that, set your mind at ease. And I think that learning for myself has been very instrumental in how I show up every day. So for me, one of the things that I've always meditated. When I learned when I was very young, and I was like, that's something that I always thought it had to be something special. Like you had to have a special time and a place and a pillow and all this stuff. But I finally started leaning into meditation as an exercise as opposed to something that you just do when you have nothing to do. And meditation, yoga, exercise. Drinking your water. I mean, it is a mantra for me. There's not a day that goes by that I don't do that part that really settles, where it's not, it aligns me, where I'm not chasing the day. I'm content, I'm set, and my mind is free. And that makes just a huge difference in being able to solve problems, challenges that all of these very complex things that we're thinking through, complex problems and complex thinking that we're doing every day, and just being able to show up as yourself, being able to smile every day. I think that for me is just, if I were to be able to talk to my younger self or talk to my mentor, take care of your mental health. It goes a long way.
Wear plenty of sunscreen.
There's that too.
I wish I would have worn more sunscreen in my 20s. Dawn, well, thank you so much for joining us. And I really appreciate all your advice. I think people are going to find it really, really useful. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. It was fun.